In this episode, we are going to talk about the hat that I just finished, a pair of socks, and a new project / design. Let's get started. Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mariet, also known as die Boervrou, and this is episode 62 of the Crafty Stitches podcast. Today that I'm recording this is the 2nd of May 2024 and I'm coming to you from South Africa. So today I just brought a little glass of water to drink, and I hope that you have something to drink while we chat about all of the projects and what I have been knitting on the past 2 weeks since the previous episode. So currently I only have knitting projects to share with you, but that may change in the future. I do have some crochet projects in my surplus yarn projects, but that is a total different episode and I will mention that a little later in news. So let's get started with this episode. I hope that you have something to drink while we catch up a little bit, and please let me know in the comments down below what you are currently working on. I love to hear about your projects as well. So before we start this episode, let's talk quickly about what I am wearing. This is the second Riika top that I made so far. It is made from L Cotton's 4-ply yarn. I think the colorway's name was Baby Blue, and yeah, it's just a simple ripped tank top and I really love it. I also wear this underneath a collared shirt and I really like the look of that as well. So if it gets a little bit cold in the mornings or in the afternoon, I actually add a collared shirt, 3/4 sleeve shirt over it, and it works very well. I really like that. So that is what I am wearing. Let's get into this episode with a finished project. So this week I have one finished project to share with you, and it is the 1898 hat that I've been knitting for my husband. I used the SMC Select Extra Soft Merino Alpaca yarn, which was a gift. And it was a beautiful grey, dark grey colorway. And when I asked my husband about what his first choice of color would be for his hat, it was dark grey. So I was very happy when I got this yarn as a gift that there was dark grey in it. So in the previous episode I was still busy knitting the band portion or brim portion of the hat, I guess, with the ear flaps. So this hat have instructions on knitting this portion flat and then graft or sewing it together, and then you pick up stitches for the top part of the hat. So I started here at the back and I knit all of this until this little marker, and then I finished that piece and I grafted it together. And this time I grafted the garter stitches in garter and the stockinette stitches in stocking stitch. So at my grafting point there is no purl bumps on my stocking stitch border. Anyways, so this marker is a marker by Annegret from Pincushion Crafts that I used to keep the progress. I'm going to take it out now because the project is finished. And then afterwards you fold up this brim portion and you pick up stitches and knit the rest of the hat in the round with some decreases. And that is what the top looks like. And I must say this was a very enjoyable knit. after I figured out the gauge and my stressed and relaxed knitting gauge, this was a feast to knit. I would really like to knit another one, because one hat is not enough, because it gives me anxiety if I have to wash it and to get it dry in time to be worn in the evening again. So I would like to knit another hat. I have not measured the yarn that I have left. There might be enough for another grey hat, but there is definitely enough for a navy hat, and my husband really likes this hat, so it fits him perfectly. And after I washed and blocked the hat, I asked him when it was dry to please put it on and see if it fits. So I puts it on his head, and he got this expression on his face, and I was like, oops, I guess I cannot have the hat back now. Yes, you cannot have it back, he said. So he wore the hat with my little string of keeping the progress for 2 days. And yeah, now he can have it back, and I will not take it again. Anyway, so he's very happy with the hat. I am very happy with the hat. And the thing that I love about the hat the most is that because between the two ear flaps there is no extra length, it has this shape, there is nothing to catch on top of collars, because that was what's happening with the previous hat that I made that looked a little bit more like a helmet. The back portion would get caught on the collar of his shirt or his jacket, and then the whole hat will shift on his head. So this one does not do that, and we will see when it gets really cold how warm this hat is on the top, because this is double folded over double and this is single layered. But so far there is no scratchy or itchiness caused by this yarn, so I'm very happy about that. We will see, as I said, when it gets very cold how the top portion would do. But anyway, I think if it is really a problem, then it might be, if I look at the inside of the hat, it might be very possible to pick up another set of stitches and knit another brim on the inside, and then have a double layered top portion as well. So we shall see when it gets colder how that does, and if I must make the top part double layered as well. There is more than enough yarn to do that. So very happy about the hat. Then let's move over to works in progress. I only have 2. So my first work in progress that I would like to share with you, you have already seen. It is the socks that I'm knitting for my husband from my own pattern, the DB Toe Up Socks. And it's just a plain vanilla stocking stitch pattern that is knit from the toe up with a heel flap and gusset, which is my favorite style of heel. I've only knit 2 different types of heels, and I like this one the best. But anyway, so the first sock has been completed for a while. I just want to show you what it looks like. Right, so that is the first one that is already completed. And this is the 5th size, which is a 72 stitch sock, and I am using some opal yarns that I got from Colors of Amalfi. This is the yarn label, and this is the colorway information. And I'm currently knitting on the 2nd sock. Right, so this is the sock that I'm currently working on of the pair. Just want to make sure I don't throw anything off the needles. I'm knitting this one with 2.25mm Knit Pro Smart Sticks DPNs, the 14cm length ones. And in the previous episode I was at this point. This is also a marker from Annegret from Pincushion Crafts. And I've added quite a bit to the foot. I'm currently doing the gusset increases for the socks, so it is going along nicely. I have been knitting on this for the past few days, just little bits here and there, 2 rows here and 2 rows there, and I must say I still love knitting socks, and I really do like these TPNs. So I've just done about one third, about a third of the gusset increases, so I have a little bit more to go, but I'm really enjoying it. So it is not that I want to stress knit on the sock. It's really a nice project that I love to work on in between all of the other things. Oh, let me move the marker first before I pick it up and forget. There we go. So that is the current sock project that I have going. And for this sock, I am actually trying the technique that Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady is using, by removing the markers and adding them to the sock that I'm currently knitting to replicate the same amount of rounds. And so far I'm liking the method. I usually add stitch markers to both my socks and leave them on this one and add new markers to the other sock, but I'm trying this technique and it seems to be working fine. Right, so that is the sock project. The second work in progress that I would like to share with you is a new design. I actually showed my technique swatch in the previous episode, and I have started the project and I almost finished the project. Oops. But if something is nice to knit on, you just cannot put it down, can you? Right. So for this project, I'm using yarn from a Naughty Habit Knock Your Socks Off sock set, or Kaiso combos as she calls them. This is the yarn label, and this is the colorway. I got this as a birthday gift actually, and this is the yarn from the sock set. I must now not throw this on the floor. Let me grab it on my arm. So this is the yarn from the sock set. This is the main color and this is the contrast. But after I've knit on the technique swatch a little bit and I worked out the gauge and all of those things, I realized that the mini from the sock set, how big is it? 25 grams is not going to be enough for the project. So I grabbed some of the purple yarn that I dyed myself with acid dye and added that as a contrast color. And I'm very happy that I did do that, because I definitely would not have had enough yarn. for the project. All right. Let me show you the project. Right. Now, I did not weave in any ends yet. I will still figure out what the best method is to do that. But this is my project, and I'm calling this the Fairy Lily Cowl. If you've been here for a while, you would recognize this Fairy Lily lace of mine. So this lace patterning is also in my Fairy Lily sweater, which I just finished in the previous episode. So this cowl would be worn like this, more or less. And I love these stripes that goes off to the side. Really like that a lot. So that is the cowl. I could not put it down when I started. So it's going to be joined. I'm going to stitch it up, and it's going to look something like this. I really love it. I really enjoyed working on this, and I had to stop myself last night because if I did not stop myself, it would be finished today. Anyway, so I am loving this. I'm loving the colors. It is really pretty. Whoops. So if you did not hear in one of my previous episodes that I love this patterning, I think by now you would know that I really love this patterning because I started a new design with the same type of patterning. So this one is done all in garter stitch with a moss stitch border and a neat edge. This was a technique that I was taught in a neat edges and short rows class by Juanita Meer, who is Juan Knits on Instagram. So this is the technique that I was taught in that class, so I really like that a lot. So yes, very excited about this one. I'm sure this is going to be a finished project in the next episode, but yes. So as I said, it's going to be called, the pattern is going to be called the Fairy Lily Cowl, and I am planning on making 2 different sizes for this pattern. So this is my first size, and when I cast on the second one, you will see it, and I will give you all of the details of that thing. So I'm knitting this on 4mm US 6 needles, and this is, as I said, a sock yarn. So the Knotty Habit yarn is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon base, and it has 366 meters on 100 grams. And this yarn that I dyed myself is the exact same base, so they match perfectly. Really impressed with my cowl. I've never done this construction of a cowl before, but I really like it. Let me add this marker to the work so that I know where I was in the previous episode. There we go, another one from Annegret from Pincushion Crafts. I think that is it for the Fairy Lily Cowl. Very exciting. Can't wait to show you the finished project when it's done. And I cannot wait to wear it because I have the exact outfit to wear this with. Very happy. Right. So that is a new exciting project that I'm very happy to show you, and I cannot wait to talk a little bit more about it in the future. So that is all of the projects that I have to show for this episode. Let's move over to find out what's been happening. So last Saturday on local yarn shop day, I went to visit Little Yarn Craft, which is my local yarn shop, and I got to meet Amanda from Wool and Floss for the first time in person. That was very nice. And I also met Anne-Marie from Piana Yarns for the first time in person. So that was also a very nice experience. I got to see both of their lovely stalls and all of the projects and things that they sell. Very, very interesting. And then I also got to sit at the little table in the garden and knit and chat with all of the other crafters that was also there. That was very nice, and I really enjoyed getting out and chatting a little bit with fellow crafters. So I also got to wear my Fairy Lily sweater for the second time in public, but it's the first time at an actual yarny event, so that was lovely. I really enjoyed it. Luckily the weather allowed me to wear it, so that was good. Alright, then my friend Leonie and I was live on the 28th of April for our Surplus Yarn Stories program, where we share all of the knitting and crochet projects that we make with our leftover yarns. So if you missed that, I will link it up here for you and down below so that you can check that out if you are interested. Then the other thing that I would also like to mention is that the Fairy Lily sweater kits pre-order is now live, and it is open from the 1st of May to the 6th of May, and there is a limited amount of yarn kits available. So I will link my website down below and you can check that out if you're interested. I'm also looking forward to the Fairy Lily make-along that's going to be running when the first kits arrive at their destination. So I am super excited to be part of this make-along and to see everybody's sweaters come to life. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that is everything from me for this episode. Please let me know what projects you are currently working on. I love to chat to you about those. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new, I hope that you enjoyed this content and that you will consider sticking around. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see any more of my content. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.